All right, folks, today we are going to look at the distributive property and combining like terms and how they are used to simplify expressions and solve equations. All right, the distributive property says that we can take A times B plus C, and that's going to equal A times B plus A times C. All right, so let's take a look at some examples. It doesn't necessarily have to be plus. It could be minus as well. So let's see. In this case, we have 4 times 5 plus 7. So 4 times 5 is 20. And 4 times 7 is 28. And when you add them together, you get 48. Take a look at the example with subtraction. We've got 5 times 3 is 15, and we subtract 5 times 6, which is 30, and we get negative 15. Simple as that. That's the easiest way to use the distributive property. Combining like terms is slightly different. What we do is we use the commutative property, which says we can move the terms around in an addition problem and not change the outcome of the expression. So we use the commutative property to move and group the terms that are alike. So in this case, we've got the 4 and the positive 12. And notice how I kept the positive sign, the plus sign, with the 12. All right, you always want to include the sign that is in front of the term. Those are alike, and I can now regroup them and move them together. So 4 plus 12. All right. And now I want to go ahead and find the terms that have the variable x with it. And that's the negative x. And notice how I included the negative sign. And the positive 14x. And I can rewrite those as negative x plus 14x. And now, because of the commutative property and regrouping those, now I can simplify this expression to 4 plus 12, which is 16. All right, and then negative x plus 14 is actually positive 13x, because I have a negative x and I want to add 14, so I get positive 13x. That's as simple as you can go for that example. All of the like terms have been combined. We cannot combine a 16 with a 13x because they are not alike. All right, so now we need to put it all together. We need to distribute and then combine. So let's go ahead and distribute here. We've got 2x minus 2 times 3, which is 6. And we're going to add, and remember when you're distributing, you always want to use the leading sign. So 4 times 2x is 8x, and then positive 4 times positive 4 is 16. Positive 16. Now I want to combine my like terms. Well, I look at it and I see that I've got a 2x and a positive 8x. So I'm going to rewrite them. 2x plus 8x. And then I've got a negative 6 and a positive 16. So that is negative 6 plus 16. And now I want to go ahead and combine those terms. 2 plus 8 is 10x. And negative 6 plus 16 is a positive 10. That expression has now been simplified. I cannot combine 10x and 10. They are not like terms. Oh, fractions. Sometimes they like to throw fractions at you. In the real world, fractions do exist, so you have to deal with them now. But it's the same as before. We take the term that is outside the parentheses and we multiply it into the parentheses. 1/2 times 2 is 1n, which is written as n. And then 1/2 times 6 is 6 divided by 2, which is 3. All right, simple as that. You don't get freaked out by fractions. All right, here we go. Now we're going to take the positive 3 and we're going to distribute it to the n. So that is plus 3n. And then positive 3 times negative 2 is a negative 6. Now I want to go ahead and circle my like terms. I have an n, and I have a positive 3n, and I rewrite n plus 3n. And now I want to box my terms without the variable. That is a plus 3 and a minus 6. And now I want to go ahead and combine them. So n plus 3n is 4n. And then positive 3 plus minus 6 is negative 3. There is your final simplified expression. Don't get freaked out by those fractions. It just means that you have to do a little extra thinking. All right, negative numbers. Oh no! Why does Mr. Heenan have to throw in the negative numbers? But same thing. Distribute. 4 times 3 is 12x. 4 times 5 is 20. And then what do I do here? There's no number there, just a negative sign. Well, the identity property of multiplication says that there is technically a 1 in there, a negative 1 times what's inside the parentheses. So I can distribute the negative 1. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2x. Negative 1 times 12 is negative 12. And now I want to circle my like terms and rewrite them. 12x minus 2x. Change the color. Plus 20 minus 12. 12x plus minus 2x is 10x. And then 20 minus 12 is 8. That is as simple as you get. Okay? Combining and distributing like terms should always be done before you solve an equation. All right? Distribute and combine as much as you can before you go to solve the equation. If you have any issues with this, you can certainly watch the video again, or you can go on IXL and do some practice simplifying expressions. All right? Please, please, please do not freak out when you get negative numbers and fractions. We're not torturing you. We're just trying to get you to see that they do exist and are used all the time. That's it for now. We'll see you next time. And don't stress, it's only math.